Hi guys, Mike here from KES Bushcraft Down Under. So a bit of a build video today. So those of you that watch my videos know most of the time the trips under 10 days I just use an esky. Now I do also have a portable power pack that I built which drops in where this Yeti Tundra 35 sits. So for longer trips I'll put the power pack in to power up my camera gear, camp lights and stuff. But I do own 3 car fridges and I haven't used them in about 2 years, so I would like to get some use out of them. Now roughly once a year I go up to Sharks Bay and I always complain about the quality of the bait, so I could use one of those car fridges as a freezer on those type of trips, or trips that are remote enough that I'm happy to leave 2.5 grand solar blanket out on the ground. So the range of those trips is fairly limited. So as I said, most of the time I'm just happy with a cooler, and it's quieter if you're sleeping in the back of the car than a car fridge cycling on and off. So this Yeti is attached to a plyboard base, which is also then itself bolted through the floor of the car. So there are 4 anchor points. I'm using 2 for the Yeti at the moment, and they're running north-south. And the ones I use for the battery pack are running east-west. So I'll slip the battery pack in, and my thoughts are to build a frame around the outside of the battery pack that's strong enough to hold a car fridge and or other things, because that flat space on top of the either the cooler or the battery pack is incredibly handy. It's just at the right height for the back of the car. So guys, that's what we're going to do. Alright guys, with the mats pulled back you can actually see what I've done here. So this floor, the base piece of ply is 12mm, which is the height of the ridges. Then I skinned it with 3mm. So it's as low as it can. I could have just put a 12 or 15mm sheet straight across the floor, but I've had all those voids, so it took a lot of jigsaw and router in to make this fit. So in here I've got my jack tools, and I also got an air compressor built into that panel, so getting access to that would be handy, although I can just take the door off, make it easier. So these 2 here are bolted through the floor. These 2 are just embedded into the ply, but they're holding a cooler and it's strong enough, that's for sure. So these are decent sized bolts, decent sized washers underneath the car. So I'll drop the battery pack in. I'll show you what I mean. Right guys, that's how the battery pack sits. So I normally just put a tie down strap east-west to hold it in place, although it's got eyelets front and back which I use for the Yeti. But it sits in there pretty good. Now to get to the jack I have to loosen off the strap and lean the pack over. So not the end of the world. So what I'm thinking is steel frame around the outside, flat surface on the top, and mount the car fridge on top of this. Now I saw an old video from Malcolm Douglas on about angle fridges, and he had his angle sitting on a small table in a similar location to this, and I thought that's a good idea. He had it up there so things crashing around on the floor here wouldn't hit it, which is also not a bad thought. But due to the shape of the body tapering in, I don't know how far this way I'll have to come to get the fridge open and close. So anyway, I'll pencil out a basic frame. I've got some 25mm tubing I pulled off the verge. It's got a couple of twists in it, but I'll be able to make it like an open-ended table with like a U-return. So on the back of this box here I've got connectors for Anderson plugs and the solar blanket, so I'll need to keep them clear, and I want it to fit pretty neatly around here and a little bit higher. Alright, so my lid is about 255. It's the widest point. The base is narrower, and it's just about 500 deep. Yeah, about 495 deep. So I want a bit of wiggle room front to back, if I can keep it reasonably tight left to right, that'll make my platform, which will be a bit tall for its base diameter, but there's a fair weight in the AGM battery in the bottom of this, so that should balance it out. How far I've got to come this way will be the question, to get the lid to open and close on the fridge. Now I've got two fridges. I've got a 32, which is about 25 years old, and a 15. The 15 is probably the practical choice, considering I normally have a big esky with me for everything else. But the base will be the same, just the wings. Alright guys, there's the frame. Some of the materials I had a bit of a whoop on them, but it doesn't matter. So, open at the back, so that will slide on and in without interfering with the Anderson plugs on the back. I think this battery pack's going to have to come out to make the fridge work. So I'll knock up a tin lid. Then if I need to add some wings for the base plate, I can do that. Alright, that's looking pretty well spot on for the width here. I've made it a little bit longer. So I'll clean up a couple of these welds. And we'll see about bashing out a lid. Alright, that's getting it together. So I'm riding up on the foam on this side underneath the floor here. So I can either trim that, but that makes any difference. This means it's sitting on a slight angle. So I've got 3 points. I'm on top of the point that's here. But I think 3 would probably do it. So we'll knock up the lid and see how the fridge sits. Alright, sun's in perfectly the wrong angle. And there's the tin top. Oh, I think this is looking the part. The tricky part will be the fridge lineup and how I'm going to secure it down. Right guys, that's the 15 angle sitting on the top. Now the 32 does fit. I may have to add a little bit of angle here for the locking base plate. So the 15, I can tuck it in closer that way and I still get the lid to fully open, which is really good. And it looks the part. So I need to work out some anchors. I was debating whether to put a couple of these on each side down to here, or to fab up out a flat plate and cut out a slot so we get a nice angled crossover. That won't affect the access to any of these ports and stuff. You should be able to see the battery meter. And I think that's looking the part, I really do. There is a locking base available for this 15 angle as well, which should simplify the taking it on and taking it off as well. So I may have a look at that. But I think that's a pretty good little idea. I really do. Anyway guys, if you like this type of content and it helps you make good stuff, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.